This is me after spending just over 140,000 Indian rupees. So guys, please hit that subscribe button and hype this video. Alright guys, in this video we will compare the OnePlus 15 and the iQOO 15 in terms of gaming performance, both native gaming and emulation. Now I have made this video under a very tight schedule. I wanted to cover a lot more, so maybe I will make another video after some time, so please be patient. I also faced issues trying to record these benchmarks, so as I will describe as we go on. So yeah, hopefully I can create another video. Anyways, before we take a look at the performance, I need to talk about something major. The OnePlus 15 that I have bought is the 12GB RAM variant, while the iQOO 15 that I also bought is the 16512. Now, this should not affect native Android games, but it can affect high-end emulation like Windows x64 games emulation. But to be honest, it is what it is. The pricing is very close. 69,000 rupees for the OnePlus 15 versus 71,000 rupees for the iQOO 15. 2,000 rupees more for extra 4GB of RAM and double the storage. Finally, all games are tested in the highest performance modes of these phones, high performance and pro gamer mode on the OnePlus and monster mode on the iQOO 15. Okay, first I want to test my favorite benchmarking game, that is Grid Legends. Seriously, I use this game more for benchmarking than playing myself. Now you're supposed to run this game at 30 FPS in the graphics priority mode because it is very demanding. But I made some changes to the configuration file to raise the FPS cap to 50 FPS. Beyond 50 FPS, it's honestly way too demanding and you need active cooling to play that way. And I also disabled dynamic resolution, so no resolution tricks here. So right off the bat, you can see the problem here. While the OnePlus 15 is perfectly hitting the frame rate cap, like locked to 50 FPS. In fact, it can go beyond 60 FPS if I unlock the cap. The iQOO 15 is not quite able to maintain the same. It is running the SoC way too conservatively. Both devices are cool at the start, yet the iQOO simply limits the performance. So even if you added a cooler, you cannot get the same performance as the OnePlus 15. And that can be a problem for hardcore gamers because iQOO is a brand which targets gamers and is popular among gamers, and OnePlus is also doing the same. So in a one-to-one battle of pure performance, iQOO 15 is kind of falling behind, and it is important for gamers to know this. Looking at the final results, the OnePlus 15 was able to maintain a perfect 50 FPS. Basically, it can go beyond 60 FPS if I remove the cap. But the iQOO 15 is simply too power limited for this kind of game. 45 FPS is perfectly fine, guys. I'm not saying the iQOO 15 is not able to play the game nicely. You are supposed to play this game at 30 FPS at these settings. So if you're downloading this game from the Play Store, you will have no issues because the game is 30 FPS by default. But I unlocked the FPS just to show that the OnePlus has more power in the tank if needed. I went with CarX Street, and here I faced another issue which added to my frustration. This specific game is broken on the OnePlus 15. The moment you start the game, the phone kind of goes into a laggy, low power state. When I pulled on the quick toggles, you can see it's very laggy. The power does not go beyond 3 watts, and the gameplay obviously is very laggy since it's just capped to 2.7 to 3 watts, which is just not enough. I found a partial workaround which fixes the issue, but only at night. Actually, night is much more demanding than day in this game, so you have to start a screen recording and open the game, and it has to be nighttime. So if it's nighttime with active screen recording, then you can see the OnePlus 15 has zero issues cruising in this game with rock solid 60 FPS. Obviously, at a technical level, this game is not a challenge for the 8 Elite Gen 5, but some bug is affecting the OnePlus 15. The iQOO 15 on the other hand does not have any kind of glitch and all, it just works both at day and at night. I will retest this game on the OnePlus 15 in my next video. Okay, next up we have Wuthering Waves. Now Wuthering Waves is actually one of the few games that is supported by iQOO's esports mode. So I enabled the esports mode for this game. Now here I faced another issue. I don't know why, but the game to my eyes kind of looks sharper on the OnePlus 15. I have not enabled any game enhancement feature or anything, but I don't know, for some reason the game definitely looks sharper to my eyes. And this actually shows up in the power draw. Look how much lower the power draw is on the iQOO 15 for this game compared to the OnePlus 15. I don't know if iQOO is cheating with the internal resolution or this is some kind of god level optimization for this game, but it is definitely effective. Both devices are at 60 FPS locked initially, but since power draw is less on the iQOO, the heat gain is also less. And so essentially the iQOO 15 maintains 60 FPS for much longer than the OnePlus 15. The OnePlus 15 maintains solid 60 FPS for around 12 minutes, after which it throttled and capped the FPS to 45 FPS, which it maintained for another 10 to 11 minutes. And finally it dropped to 30 FPS when temperatures reached 47 degrees centigrade. The iQOO 15 in comparison, by some magic, pulled well less than 6 watts, which is the lowest that I have seen in Wuthering Waves, max setting 60 FPS. I am definitely giving the win to the iQOO 15 because whatever optimization iQOO has put for this specific game is helping out a lot, but it's just a bit suspicious to me. I have never seen such low power draw in Wuthering Waves. Next up is Hitman Absolution in the graphics priority preset. Now we will test this game at 60 FPS and at 120 FPS. Okay, by default you are supposed to play this game at 30 FPS, but you can unlock 40, 60 and 120 FPS from the in-game menu itself. So at 60 FPS what you will notice is that some of the hard to run parts like this outside area, the OnePlus is brute forcing its way to higher FPS, but in doing so it is also pulling way more power. Now it is not about whether it's right or wrong, it's about the philosophy in place here. So the OnePlus 15 basically has more performance in the tank when needed. You can imagine if you were using a cooler, then on the OnePlus 15 you can leverage the extra power for more consistent long time gameplay. See, technically speaking, you are supposed to stick to 30 FPS, which is the default choice, and both devices will easily maintain that for hours, but OnePlus 15 provides more headroom. This is evident at the 120 FPS mode, where the OnePlus 15 is pushing way more power, sometimes double the power, and trying to hit that FPS cap. The iQOO 15 is providing great performance, but the problem is it is never even attempting to hit the peak performance of the 8 Elite Gen 5. So even if you added a cooler, you can't get the same performance as the OnePlus 15. Of course, at 30 FPS and even 40 FPS, both devices can provide consistent experience for hours without requiring any active cooling in a game like this. Finally, I have a couple of emulation tests. First, we will test GTA 5. We are testing high settings DirectX 11 720p. And again, OnePlus just doesn't hold back like the iQOO 15. It is aiming for the peak performance of the 8 Elite Gen 5. Again, this is only for show. In reality, you will be using a cooler for this or lower the graphics and stick to a 30 FPS cap. The difference can be really big, and so it's important to know if you are getting a device like this and intend to use it for emulation, as these devices are clearly capable of it. Okay, last but not least, we have Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which still looks gorgeous, and we are testing at 720p medium settings. Now, we have capped the FPS to 40 FPS, otherwise the GPU hits 100% utilization and starts lagging. It is a common problem with emulation at the moment in some games. And here you can see once again, the OnePlus 15 can stay locked to 40 FPS cap. It can actually go up to 50-55 FPS if I remove the cap. but the iQOO 15 rarely hits the 40 FPS cap. Again, this is because the OnePlus 15 has more power under the hood and is not afraid to use it. So for emulation, the OnePlus 15 is a clear winner.
This is Commander Rourke. I want the site secured ASAP. When Dr. Dominguez arrives, we all go in together.
Alright guys, in conclusion, the iQOO 15 is good enough for casual gamers or if you play some games that iQOO has special optimization for, like BGMI or WUA for example. But if you are an enthusiast and like to tinker with stuff like emulation and want to be more future proofed, then the OnePlus 15 is for you. That's what I believe. Alright, I know this wasn't the best video. I had to face annoying issues and time constraints. So hopefully I will cover more stuff in another video. Till then, stay tuned, consider hitting the subscribe button and turning on notifications. Making these videos cost me a fortune, so any donation will be highly appreciated. Alright, take care guys and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.